Good morning on this beautiful day. This is Premiere Pro Tips. We're going to take a look at Photoshop first before we go into Premiere Pro because I want to show you something similar. If you are in Premiere Pro, you may have seen something called an adjustment. Maybe not. But in Photoshop, we have that adjustment layer capability here also. So I have a photograph here of a wildflower my wife planted, and what I want to do is I want to change the hue or the color of it a little bit. So I've got the layer picked. I'm going to go over to Adjustments, and I'm going to pick the Hue Saturation Adjustment layer. Over here we have Hue, and I can drag the Hue slider back and forth, and that will apply the hue change. I'll bring down that saturation a little bit, maybe there, maybe darken it up, maybe don't like it, I move it around. But anyway, I can change those things. Now notice here that this adjustment layer is sitting above here, and this is a hue adjustment layer. If I hide the hue adjustment layer, it turns it off, so I don't have it being influenced on the layer below. So it's not changing the pixels of this layer directly. It's having you look through this layer with this change and seeing this. So it's almost like a pair of prescription glasses. So anytime I want to just turn it off or turn it on or delete it, I can, because these pixels have not been permanently changed. So it's a non-destructive workflow. I'm going to quit out of Photoshop here and let's go over to Premiere. Here I have a little clip of a wind turbine by Adobe Stock here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add an adjustment layer to it so I can change some effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on my project panel. I'm going to come to the lower right corner and there's a little piece of paper icon that looks like a new item. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make an adjustment layer. I'm going to make it the same size as my canvas. And over here in the project panel, I'm going to double click and I'm just going to type in, let's see, Photoshop like effects. And I'm going to take this adjustment layer, I'm going to put it in the track above my Adobe Stock video. I'm going to make it the same length just for fun. And now I'm going to have it selected. Now, I'm going to go over here to my effects panel. And if you don't see effects here, you may have to go to this pop-out menu here and pick effects. If you have to do that, you can always drag this tab from where it is over to the right, how about to the left, and put it here so it's easier to get access to. I'm going to go over here to video effects. I'm just going to pick something easy like, let's say, blur. Here's Gaussian blur just like we have in Photoshop. I'm going to drag that onto the adjustment layer track. And now if I double click on this, I can go to the upper left and go to my effect controls, and here's Gaussian blur. And I can go in here and apply as much Gaussian blur I want to that particular clip. Now the nice thing about this is I don't have to apply it to the whole thing. I can just apply it to this little bit, and so when it plays regular, then it goes to blurry and out. I can add transitions to this. Also, what's nice about this, it's not changing the pixels below here in Adobe Stock Video. It's just looking through the adjustment layer clip down and interpreting this. So if I want to find another effect, let's say I want to go over here and find image control. Here's black and white. So I can put that on top of my adjustment layer. Over here in the upper corner where it says my effect controls, here's my black and white effect right here. Now, these effects here, there's an FX here in front of the name. That temporarily turns it on and off if you click on it. These items down below are using the ability to mask out where the effect is actually being applied. So if I take this rectangle here and I stretch it out this way, and I pull down on this anchor point, and you've seen already these are kind of like Bezier curves. The mask that I just drew out there is blocking the effect from this area. Now we're going to talk about this later. We'll come back in and talk about how we can use these masks to work with different effects, but just know this is possible. Now, if I take this adjustment layer and I delete it, it didn't change the pixels of the wind turbine video permanently. That's because we were looking through an adjustment layer. So try to use an adjustment layer when you want to apply effects to a clip or a certain part of a clip, and you have the freedom to remove them, add them, and do different things. You're not permanently changing or adding the effect directly to the clip. So it's something to consider. Let's move over to another item here. I'm going to put my mouse over here. I'm going to make the play head come over this area. And I have just a standard stock animation from Adobe Stock, and I have 4 text objects. What I want to do is I want to line them up on this left edge. Well, in the last 2 or 3 versions of Premiere Pro, they've added the ability to go under View and add rulers and guides, but I can't get access to it. It's dimmed out. Oh, I bet you I have to click on the program panel to make it active, because that's where the rulers and guides go. Let's see. Sure enough. So let's turn on Show Guides, and let's turn on Show Rulers, and let's turn on Snap in Program Monitor. So what we're going to do is, just like any other Adobe program, if I want to bring a vertical guide over, let's say I'll bring a vertical guide over here to 200 pixels or so. Right there. Wow, I wonder how I can hit 200 exactly. You know, I'm not happy with that guide. I think I'm going to drag it back into the ruler. Let's see here. View, add guide, ... Oh, I can put a number in here. Well, let's go ahead and put in 200, a vertical ruler from the left. Boom. There we go. Now it's right on 200. So now I can click on this name object here and drag it over and snap it. And snap it. And snap it. And snap it. That's great. So now if I want to go to a different clip in my timeline, I still have that same guide letting me know this is the horizontal position if I want to put something else in there. So I can take my type tool, I can click, I can type in wind, I can go to my selection arrow, and now I know with some confidence here that I can press on this and it will snap to that guide. Let's go over here and do something else. I'm going to take this wind clip here and I'm going to delete it. I'm going to come over here, over this clip. I'm going to go back to my editing workspace. Now this is an old 4x3 video commercial of Kodak cameras back in 1956. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to select it and I'm actually going to double click on it. And I'm going to enlarge it here so it fills my canvas a little bit more. It's blurry already, so I'm not going to panic about that too much. Now this guide is bothering me. Now I can drag it back into here, or if I want to just temporarily turn off that guide, I could go over here and just go uncheck Show Guides. It's still there, I'm just not showing it. Let's get back to this situation here. Now I'm going to play this clip and listen to the audio.
Here's how you can relive a good time over and over again. See it, big as life in full color slides.
Now, I can raise the volume of that by coming down on the clip and getting this horizontal white line and raise the volume up to something higher. And then I can take a look at it. How about I take a listen to it?
Here's how you can relive a good time over and
it's not too bad. The only problem is when you're raising the volume level of a clip, you're raising the volume level of everything you want, plus any noise that's in that clip. I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to show you a little trick someone showed me decades ago. What you can do is you can go click off this, Alt click or Option click on this. And this only selects the audio portion of this clip. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my Alt or Option key, and I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and I'm going to drag a duplicate of this audio clip. Now, when I play this back, it's going to be louder because it's playing two digital audio copies. Here we go.
here's how you can relive a good time over.
Now the nice thing about this, it did not increase the levels on the individual clip, which would increase the noise level. It's just building upon another digital copy. So if I have low audio that has noise in it and I don't want to increase the noise level, I'll make a duplicate of the audio track and put it directly below it. Now let me try something else. Let me move this up. And I'm going to come over here on this track and I'm going to go the same thing. Alt or Option, Shift, drag, straight down, another copy. So let's see how this sounds. And also watch the meters over here on the right.
Here's how you can relive a good time over and over again. See it, big as life in full color slides.
So it's up to about -9, -7 dB. I'm going to solo by clicking on the S on this audio track, the original audio track, and let's see what the levels are when they play solo.
Here's how you can relive a good time.
See, it's down here on -18. So every time I add another copy of it, now here's two versions of it playing at the same time. Remember it was -18? Let's see here.
Here's how you can relive a good time over and over again.
So now we're up to -6. So it looks like I'm gaining 6 dB of volume or gain every time I add one. So let's turn them all on. In fact, let's not solo any of them, and then you'll hear them all.
Again, see it, big as life in full color slide.
So it went from -18 to around a -12, -11. Now we're down to about -7. I increased the overall volume of that without raising the noise level. What you want to do is you want to go over here and select all these clips and see if you can right click and group them together. Now, if you happen to move this clip left or right or make adjustments in its length, all those are going to be reduced the same amount. So make sure if you go ahead and do that, you want to make sure you group those together. So I hope you enjoyed this. We took a look at coming over here and adding an adjustment layer to a video clip, and we found out it was non-destructive when we added that. We found out that we could go over on these clips here and take the text, and those objects could be aligned to a guide. We found that by clicking on the program monitor. We went to view, we made sure show guides was turned on, we made sure rulers were showing, and we made sure snap was turned on so that we could line those up. And we also found out that that guide is persistent across the whole project. Okay, the last thing we looked at was where we had an audio track on a clip. It was a kind of a low level. It had quite a bit of ambient noise. So we Alt Option clicked to separate the audio clip from the master video. We made some duplicates by Alt Option Shift Drag. Then we play them all at the same time and we gain some volume. We also remember we better select them all and group them, so in case we ever have to move them around, they all move at once. Okay, hope you like this. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop us a line.